format, if you will, and identification.
So, Marco, do you use this loophole to get into the women's bathrooms?
So, funny you should bring that up, actually. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Triggercast, where we have a three-way. And by three-way, I mean like in the traditional sense, where we're having a conversation with two other people. With me today is Matt Jack and the Forgetful Hitman. All three Triggermen in one neat package. Matt Jack, this is our first time together. How are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm alright. And Manny, of course.
I'm just going to go ahead and quit.
I'm going to rage quit right now.
Sounds like we've already triggered some people to rage quit.
I am.
I want to play Prey. I don't want to be a part of this. Bye.
And then there were two.
Already.
Well, then one when you lose power.
So, I don't know. But we have a contingency in plan. In place. In plan.
That was great.
So the big announcement for this episode, for me anyway, is that we finally have a SoundCloud, and the first 3 episodes are up.
Awesome.
Ooh.
So that's soundcloud.com/ this is really convoluted, so get ready. soundcloud.com / Reaper-Wolf-Reaperwolf91 / sets / the Triggercast. I didn't choose the name. Don't get mad.
Fuck, could they have chosen a much more difficult, like, they're acting as if we're breaking into Fort Knox to get these podcasts.
Yeah, seriously.
I will have a link in the description to make it slightly
Oh God,
easier.
please do.
But I will add it 5 days later.
Great.
No, I'll add it right away.
So, and also uploading to SoundCloud is about as painless as pulling teeth. It does this weird asynchronous upload thing. I don't know why. It's weird.
Great, more work.
No, it's alright. I got it.
And by more work, I mean teeth pulling, you know. If you thought uploading to one was terrible, try the other one. That's just as bad.
Sounds like it's terrible either way.
You know what's funny? Skype chat is the easiest way to send stuff, and you're not even uploading. It's like, why can't this be the norm?
Yeah, seriously. There's like a weird lack of standard for uploads.
Oh, Marco, you come up with the blue border, and Dan gets a white border on my end of the three-way.
What?
What?
We both have blue borders.
Oh, it's because you're talking. Okay, never mind, because Dan didn't say anything for a while, and then Marco was still doing something. I get it.
I don't even see a border.
It's based on... Well, you are Mexican. You guys act as if the Americans don't have a border.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Triggercast, where anything is possible.
Which today is Cinco de Mayo, or as people want it to be, the day we appreciate Mexicans even though they're stealing our jobs.
Oh.
But they did bring tequila, margaritas, and tacos, so I guess they're forgiven.
You know, most Mexicans don't even give a rat's ass about Cinco de Mayo.
No, I actually saw videos where Mexicans are actually highly offended by Cinco de Mayo.
I don't know about highly well, okay, I'm more the exception than the rule.
Okay, come on. I told you before the podcast, the okay and the thumbs up is considered white supremacy symbols right now.
Yeah, I don't get that. I'm still gonna do that as a Mexican.
I ain't stopping.
Well, you wouldn't.
Oh, well.
You white person, you.
Well,
I didn't choose the white life.
once a white supremacist, always.
Anyway.
So, I think Marco should open with the topic.
Alright, sounds good to me. I'm going to start off with the drop because I've been pretty consistent about that. The new and interesting PlayStation Network games. First of which
Yay!
is the Caligula effect. It's difficult to pronounce. But, so the cover art looks very much like Persona and Persona 5 and all them. And it's for a reason. It features a story written by Persona veteran Tadashi Satomi. So it takes place inside of a digital prison filled with brainwashed high school students, evil musicians, and an all-powerful virtual idol. So it sounds like one of those story-driven games for PS Vita, out now.
Just PS Vita?
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
If anyone's still playing Vita.
That's,
Oh!
it's just me and Manny, and like two
Pretty
other
much.
people.
A white man and a Mexican still play Vita.
Like, never together.
Well, no. Bruce Wayne and Batman are never in the same room together.
And the mystery begins.
Ooh. Dan's Batman.
That makes
God
sense.
dang it.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Well, I mean, Batman is murderous right now, so I mean, it's not much responsibility.
No, you can't just
True.
kill your enemies.
What? Nobody told me.
Well, according to Zack Snyder, Batman's a homicidal maniac.
Makes sense. Also, as mentioned in a previous podcast, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series, is out now. If you want more info on that, go back to episode...
The one that doesn't exist.
Oh,
So,
That
none,
one.
then.
go find it. It's in one of the episodes.
No, literally, that one was the one we were doing Tuesday that doesn't exist.
What? Really? No.
Yeah,
No,
you were talking about it on
No, I
Tuesday.
spoke about it before.
The art before, and it wasn't out. You said upcoming.
Huh. Okay.
So some backstory for the listeners before we really get
Yeah, I
into
guess.
this is Tuesday. Marco and I were trying to record a podcast. My computer seized up, and we lost my section of the vocals, and so we had to just cancel it.
We scrapped it. It was basically our dry run through this entire... Well, not the entire thing. There's new points on the sheet. On the docket.
We did a dry run without Dan.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, dude. We're putting you on the spot. I hope your ad-libbing is up to speed. Also, Prey.
No, it's not apparently.
Prey, I'm going to let Manny talk about later on. Also, Super Rude Bear Resurrection. That's an interesting sounding game. It seems to be a side-scroller and a platformer. The cool part here is in...
Which reminds me I need to download that.
Say what?
Which reminds me I need to download that.
So, a piece of the description says, every time you die, your previous bodies stack up and you can use them to jump, push them around, and use them as shields. So every death makes the game slightly easier, but it is possible to beat the whole game without dying.
If only Dark Souls played the same way.
Yeah, seriously, right? It's like throw your dead bodies at enemies.
I can't download it yet. It unlocks in an hour.
Close. Also, Tumbleseed.
Bastards.
Tumbleseed is basically one of those marble control games that everybody hates. So why is this out? Who did this?
Because people hate it.
It's
Who's
just
buying
people
it?
love to hate it. Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
So you have to avoid the holes.
Watch, it's the best-selling game of May.
That's funny. I hope that happens now. We predicted
I do
it first.
too, just so.
And we can market this episode as an exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's basically like the Dark Souls of marble games, which says a lot. So if you like to be frustrated, want to be frustrated even more intensely, go ahead and download Tumbleseed.
Now, is Tumbleseed a tie-in Marvel film or just an own thing?
No, marble with a B.
Oh, sorry, I heard Marvel. Sorry.
I would clear that up.
Because I was about to say, I was to get onto your frustration part. Usually movie tie-ins are so frustrating as games that it would just naturally be frustrating. So you don't even need to make the Dark Souls comparison.
A guy that I used to go to for game opinions at EB Games. Well, first of all, he was super negative, and all the games that I liked, he hated, and all of the games that I hated, he hated. So I came to realize that he just hates gaming. And he works at an EB Games, so that's great for him. Anyway.
Well, I hated movies, and I worked at Blockbuster.
How can you hate movies?
I needed a job.
Movies are awesome.
I'd rather play video games.
How about
Agreed.
both?
No.
Well, if I had to choose between one or the other, I would definitely go with video games. So,
Oh, 2-1. Dan's screwed.
I don't
the
care.
democracy has
I
spoken.
don't care.
Well, he's a white supremacist, so he's going to do what he wants anyways.
And that's it for the new and interesting PlayStation games.
So you guys want to know what I got for free due to, well, what I get to keep even, you know, because I have the Humble monthly subscription, and if I cancel my subscription, I still get to keep my games, unlike PlayStation Plus that sucks ass.
Yeah.
You want to know? You want to know what I got? I got Super Rude Bear Resurrection, Gunner, the Touring Test, Metrico Plus. I thought that was about to say, I was about to say Mexico Plus. Like, what? I don't want a game called Mexico Plus, even if I got it
We
for free.
have one of those already. We call it New Mexico.
Oh.
No wonder why Val Kilmer has cancer. Undertale, This Is the Police, Inside, and Dirt Rally. And that was all just for $12.
Nice. I hear Inside is interesting, like artistically interesting.
It was made by the same people that made that. Oh, what was that black and white game? Fuck.
The Unfinished Swan.
It's something L. Limbo.
Oh, right.
And Limbo was awesome.
So I've heard. I haven't played either of them. Dan?
I have not played any of those.
You people are uncultured swine.
Wow. That was intense. A
Man.
little too
It was
intense.
meant to be. Could have made it worse.
That's true.
Dan, your turn.
PMS oh, my turn now. Okay. All right, let's...
We go from PMS to turn.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about Russia, everyone's favorite country, has developed a Terminator. Well, they developed a robot that can dual wield Glocks and shoot them. And
Oh.
they say it's
Whoa.
That's like the walkers
looking at
from
the image.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
yeah.
Holy shit.
And they're saying that the shooting is to teach the robot priorities and make instant decisions. So they programmed it to shoot, but they haven't designed its decision-making algorithms. So it's only a matter of time before this thing turns on everyone and just starts murdering.
Thank God it's in Russia.
Yeah, I was about to say, that sounds super safe.
Yeah. So I imagine this is, Trump had Putin commission this so that he could have them and bring them over to America.
Makes sense to me.
Sounds about right.
Hey, California's next to Russia. We're safe. Florida's on the other side.
I think wipe out California.
And where Marco is in Canada.
California's next to Russia.
In terms of the sea.
Yeah.
You know, there's much more landmass from Florida to Russia.
You're not wrong.
It's called all of Europe.
I mean, they could always fly it on a bomber and just drop it anywhere.
Yeah, but I think at some point we'd shoot it out of the sky if it got too close to the Republican
I would
states.
hope so.
There were 15 rednecks with shotguns, and they blasted it out of the sky.
Russian Terminator destroyed.
Not on my soul,
This
son.
Doesn't it look like a Silo, though, from Battlestar Galactica, the new one? A Cylon, sorry.
Cylons, yeah.
It looks like a
A little
Cylon.
bit.
This thing looks awesome. Except I'm actually just as equally unnerved. Has Russia not watched Terminator?
I don't know what kind of movies they get over in Russia.
They probably did get Terminator, but like last year.
And they were
It's too late, they've
inspired to
already
create this
constructed the
robot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if they got the movie last year, they might have been so far in development in terms of costs, they have to see the project through, even though they know they're spelling their own doom.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm 20% excited and 80% scared. Or maybe I'm 80% excited and 20% scared. I don't know. But that's what makes it so
My boner
intense.
says I'm excited. My shaking says I'm scared.
That's awesome. And I guess we should tie right in to Mr. Elon.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Elon Musk. Oh, yeah. He's been at the forefront of like stopping AI because he feels like it's gonna. I guess he's watched The Matrix and knows exactly what's gonna happen.
He's the dude that lobbied against Uber, right? And the self-driving cars?
I think so.
I think that's how I know him.
He is. Well, he was talking to who was it? Somebody from DeepMind who is working on AI, and Elon Musk is working on, colonization of Mars. Because if we develop AI and killer robots like the Russian Terminator, then we're going to need another planet to go to.
Yeah, I guess. Or like somewhere to test them.
CI8.
Oh, that too. But like whenever I see these, like with the Terminator robot or this AI, I was like, have these people not seen movies? We already know how this works out. It works out horribly for us.
See, that's the thing, though. I feel like so many movies and, literature has been made about AIs and robots that it's gotten blown out of proportion.
We're discriminating. We're being racist.
I wasn't going to take it that far, but...
Robot lives matter.
Okay.
Check your privileges.
Check your organic privilege.
That's a good one.
How dare you?
But Elon Musk is the one that was, it's not Tesla versus Uber, it is the people versus Uber. It was last October.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard something about that. It was interesting. Definitely. I don't agree with him.
I'll send you... Well, I agree with him to a point. Like, we're still really far... There's still ways to go before we're really ready to let cars drive themselves. I mean... People can't even drive cars without getting into accidents. How do you expect a robot not to do it?
Yeah.
See, I'm inclined to agree, but like the Google car that was developed specifically for that only has crashed. Not even crashed. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
You all right there over there, Manny?
I burped. I had some water and I had a burp.
Oh, that's fair. At least it's a clean one.
Yeah, at least it wasn't. It was in the top and not the bottom.
I guess we're keeping it classy here on the Triggercast.
It is the Triggercast after all.
How do we keep things classy? It's 3 dudes. There's not a chick on here.
Don't you mean woman?
No, I mean
At
chick.
this rate, there never will be.
Yeah, seriously. There goes 40% of our listener base.
So are we done with Elon Musk? Are we moving on?
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay, because Intel has told people that bought overclockable processors to stop overclocking.
Why?
I figured I'd open with that because it's just so funny to say. Because what's going on is there are users that have the current i7-7700K, the top quad-core processor for gaming. The people are complaining that even at idle, it's just randomly ramping up to 90 degrees. And I mean, at idle, even if you have a halfway decent cooler, you'll be around 40, 50 degrees. I mean, that's still pretty high, but I mean, we're talking like a cheapy cooler. But to randomly just go to 90 degrees, and the thermal is 100 degrees for the thermal cutoff? Yeah, the maximum thermal threshold before the processor really starts to shut things down to save itself. I mean, just to randomly go up to 90%, we'll just throw a percentage out there.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So people are complaining on the internet, and Intel goes, well... Here, I'll just read the quote. "We appreciate the feedback you have provided and your patience as we investigated this behavior. The reported behavior of the 7th generation Intel Core i7-7700K processor, showing momentary temperature changes from the idle temperature, is normal while completing a task, like opening a browser, an application, or a program. In our internal investigation, we did not observe temperature variation outside of the expected behavior and recommended specifications. For processor specifications, please refer to the Intel Core i7 blah blah blah. For motherboard, your manual blah blah blah. And they said, please, we do not recommend running outside the processor specifications, such as by exceeding processor frequency or voltage specifications, or removing of the integrated heat spreader, the delitting thing. And these actions will void your processor warranty. The key thing is here, we do not recommend running outside the processor specifications. It's an overclockable processor. I mean, isn't that kind of what you sold it as?
Basically, don't speed in your race car.
Pretty much.
For Canadian listeners, that 90 degrees Fahrenheit is 32 Celsius. Just so you get an idea.
No, it's in Celsius. Did I say it in Fahrenheit? If I said it in Fahrenheit, I'm wrong. It's supposed to be
He
Celsius.
said 40 degrees, you meant Celsius.
Hang on. Because, yeah, CPU stuff's based on... Yeah, I meant Celsius. I'm
Holy
sorry.
shit.
Because processors are diagnosed based on Celsius. Sorry.
Oh, okay, so in that case, it's 194 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Crap.
You're pretty close to cooking an egg here.
And you said it was 40 degrees with a cooler?
Like around idle, I mean, you should be around 40. I mean, to 50 if you're on an air cooler. I mean, if you're on liquid, I mean, you should be in the high 30s.
So that's 104 Fahrenheit. So almost double. Fuck, that thing's hot.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, you're pumping all that electricity through.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's just that if it's going up to around 200 degrees, it's what you got to preheat your oven to make a pizza.
True.
So you throw in a pizza in your case, and then you boot up some, Prey, and then you just play it for a couple hours, and your pizza's done.
So basically,
if you really want to expedite it, just play Crysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Just leave a hot pocket on top of it.
Oh God, I don't want to get my PC diarrhea.
But a whole pizza's fine.
Well, I don't get diarrhea from pizza. I get diarrhea from a hot.
Now we know way too much about your intestines.
Everybody gets diarrhea from Hot Pockets, not just me.
No, everybody gets diarrhea from sugar-free gummy bears. That's different.
Well, I'm sorry you people don't understand that sugar-free gummy bears are meant to clean you out, and you guys ate like a pound of them in a sitting.
It's true.
I didn't know gummy bears doubled as a colon cleanser.
Oh, yes. This was a big thing, what, a year or two ago, Marco?
I only heard about it last year. And I read the extremely creative writing attached to those.
All the Amazon
reviews. Yeah. If you want a good laugh, listeners, head over to Amazon.com and look up the sugar-free gummy bears.
Or just Google sugar-free Haribos causing diarrhea. Probably easier,
or just buy sugar-free gummy bears.
And give yourself an
just
enema?
For shits and giggles.
I don't think you'll be giggling, though. Unless you giggle when you cry. Because you're a sadomasochist.
I think we've established this about me.
You're Mexican.
Through Rain World.
You fit all these profiles.
Here's a review on those sugar-free gummy bears. I ate a handful that day, the day they came, and my stomach was having its own Vietnam.
Excellent. So, Dan.
Yes.
I'm really glad you're here for this next point. I would like to get your input.
Sure.
So, Nintendo released year-end stats for the Switch sales.
Okay.
Now, it's been out in the wild for 2 months now, since March 3rd. Nintendo is reporting 2.74 million consoles sold worldwide, which is better than they expected. Curiously enough, Zelda Breath of the Wild reports 2.76 million copies. So, 0.02 million copies more. Is that weird?
Is that's only Switch copies?
Yeah. Well, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. It doesn't really say.
Okay. Because that would be my first guess.
It is Switch copies.
No, it is Switch copies because someone commented on it being 102% more.
Yep. No, you're right. I'm reading it now, and it does say Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then the reason my guess is that with the Switch being so in short supply, There are people out there are sad people out there who have a copy of Zelda and they can't play it yet.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Or these are just estimates as well, and their estimates aren't quite lining up.
It's true. Manny?
Well, in the podcast that never aired and will never air, I said that it's easier to secure a copy of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild than a Switch. So people are buying a copy of Zelda while it's available, and then when a Switch becomes available, they buy a Switch. And bing, bang, boom, you got a game.
Makes sense to me.
That's what I read.
My thing was...
I mean, that's what I believe. I read about the 102%. And I just put two and two together. Sorry. I wanted to clear that up. Because I can't read. I'm an illiterate white supremacist.
Heard it here first. My thing was, if you bought the cartridge and you were curious about how it tastes and you swallowed it accidentally, you're going to have to buy that thing again.
I don't know. I mean, as long as you don't destroy the copper contacts, it should still work.
I wonder how many people tried it.
Hey, Dan, I have a copy. Do you want to try?
Try eating your game?
No, like just swallowing it and then passing it and then desanitizing it, of course, and then, sanitizing it and then give it back to me so we can test if it works or not.
Well, I believe my stomach acid will destroy it, plus it tastes horribly.
You just swallow it. You don't taste it.
You can swallow things without tasting them?
If you know the answer to that question, listeners, put it down in the comments.
If you've tried it, go see
Sexual
a doctor.
innuendos.
But seriously, I do think that many people did buy the cartridge along with the Switch, and after realizing that the game was actually good, they might have just bought it digitally off the store and sold their cartridge back. Or you got the collector's edition, you wanted it digital, and now you have both.
That's a possibility. But, everybody knows the Nintendo Switch has shitty memory. And there are people out there that probably aren't willing to spend $40 to expand your hard drive by 128 gigabytes, since the Switch still doesn't support USB hard drives.
Well,
so there is a possibility that people bought more physical than digital.
another thing is, the Nintendos are marketed towards tweens to teens, right? So they might just not know or not have enough money to do anything with it.
Which is funny because you know that in the fall Nintendo's going to start charging for their online services.
Womp womp.
Yep.
And the console's dedicated towards families and kids.
Yeah, true.
This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a bill for fun.
Yeah. Mom and Dad are going to love that.
I wonder... Oh, yeah, and I wonder if they're going to give you free games or not. No, they're not. They're going to give you trials for the month. So if you want to play Super Nintendo for the month of March, you can only play it for free for the month of March. Once March is over, you can't play it anymore for free. You got to buy it.
Yeah, it's like a 1 month trial, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, pretty much. I read about that. They're not giving out free games like Sony and Sony and Microsoft do. They're going to give you free trials.
Because why would you want to compete with the big two?
Because you can't at this point. Because you're a laughing, pitiful mess of what you used to be.
So how long until Nintendo's irrelevant?
Now.
As of the recording of this podcast. So...
Probably since...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm good.
I was going to say, the other curious part of these stats is that they didn't release any numbers, like any of the numbers, for 1-2 Switch, which was the other launch game.
You know what's funny? IGN promoted 1-2 Switch to hell, and then they tore it up in the review.
Oh, that's sad.
That's the funny thing. Because they were trying to sell it, like, oh, hey, something cool for your Switch. This is awesome, 2-player action, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like you get to the review, and they're like, this thing sucks.
Guess the check bounced.
Yeah, probably.
So to end on a high note, the Switch is...
There's a high note here?
Yeah, kinda. The Switch is projected to sell 10 million more copies this year, putting it close to the Wii U sales of 13.56 million consoles.
Let's just call it not happening at this point. The first 2 months are over. They did $1 million a month, and the holiday season's coming. And they're not going to really sell many switches right now. In terms of like as fast. I mean, they're still going to sell, but they're not going to be as fast. The holiday season's where it's going to pick up. I don't see them hitting the goal.
Yeah, you don't think 10 million
as long as
are
they
in the
keep,
books?
If they keep the supply problems up, no.
Dan?
I think that that everyone who is going to buy a Switch will buy it this year, and then their sales are going to tank next year.
That's a good point. So, like, they might actually hit the 10 million this year, and that's it?
They could. That might be it. Because how many...
Well, hang on. Is that end?
I was going to say, how many... what were the Wii U sales for the following year?
Oh, I have no idea.
After that 13.5 million?
No, that's...
Yeah, that's currently.
Oh, okay. Well, that bad, huh? Okay, well...
That's 4.5 years.
Okay, well, maybe the Switch will do a whole lot better. I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping.
Now,
I feel like one of the things that we're forgetting is that Super Mario, or not Super Mario, the Mario, what is it? Super Mario Galaxy?
Odyssey?
Mario Kart 8. Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, that one. It's releasing in October, so we might get another rush of people getting Switch. Because, let's face it, not everybody likes Zelda.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, you don't even like this Zelda.
No, I don't like Breath of the Wild, but I still like Zelda in general.
But that's not...
Marco generalized it.
Well, that's true.
As a whole.
I successfully triggered the Hitman.
Yeah, and you're gonna die. You shouldn't trigger a Hitman.
But I'm a trigger man. That's my entire job role.
Yeah, but you don't trigger a Hitman.
Oh. Nobody told me.
Well, you are forgetful, so maybe you'll forget about it.
I'll probably kill you instead.
Accidentally.
Oops.
You'll be like, are you the one that triggered me about Zelda? I'll be like, no. that was the other guy. So, alright, moving on.
Move along.
Alright, so I want to talk about Bill Nye for a little bit. He's been making the waves in the news for his new show.
My vagina.
The science guy?
Yeah. Have you not seen his new show?
Bill Nye has a new show.
Yeah, Bill Nye Saves the World. It's on Netflix.
Oh.
And, so the first episode, I think, was about global warming. And it started out alright, and was just talking about the science and stuff. But then he gets to the gender episode, and there's a horrible song by Rachel Bloom talking about how gender is on a spectrum, and you could be any number of different genders and stuff. Well, this kind of contradicts his old show from the 90s, and which was called Probability. And it had a segment where a girl walks into the kitchen, and there's a fridge with magnets on it.
That's great right there. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyways, so there's a magnet of a boy and a magnet of a girl, and they have the XX chromosome under the girl and the XY chromosome under the boy, and she basically says chromosomes determine your gender. You know, basic science that we already know. And
do we?
Yeah. Come to find out, though, that specific episode has had that segment cut on Netflix. It's no longer there.
Huh. That's interesting. But can you still find it on YouTube?
Yeah. I've seen it. I've actually watched it on, maybe not YouTube, but a different news site, because they were talking mainly about how it was cut.
Right. Huh. Well, that's interesting. But you also got to take into account that back in the day, I'm not 100% sure on this, but was Bill Nye publicly sponsored?
It was by Disney. The show was by Disney.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was PBS this entire time.
I think PBS aired it, but I believe it was on. It was on PBS, but I think Disney was sponsoring it, or they did at a point.
Right. Well, it's kind of like the flavor of times, right? Netflix doesn't want to air a show that is contradictory to what people are saying these days. Back in the day, nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nobody cared, but nobody was talking about it, especially not as much as we are now.
Exactly.
I mean,
Digital age.
the issue made its way onto the Triggercast. Right, guys?
It's because Dan brought it up.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
this was interesting because you always hear how science is settled on global warming, but apparently it hasn't settled on, but gender isn't settled science.
Yeah. Well, ah, man. That's murky business there, but there's a difference between scientifically assigned gender and like what you identify as, right?
Yeah, attack chopper, get it
Yeah, there
straight.
you go.
Well, you can identify as anything you want, but that doesn't change who you actually are, biologically.
I think that's the difference. The
Yeah.
distinction should be made between physiological format, if you will, and identification.
So, Marco, do you use this loophole to get into the women's bathrooms?
So, funny you should bring that up, actually. That sounded so wrong, and I hope you don't cut me off right there. But,
Nope, I'm keeping it going.
and in Toronto,
Oh, I should have the episode open with just that part, though.
and just leave it blank for a couple of seconds before we introduce it.
Yes.
So
no
in
context.
Toronto, yeah, in Toronto where I live, legally, you're able to use any washroom that you choose. It's the signs on the washrooms are merely suggestive. So there's a very fine line to walk, especially in the security industry where I work, where if someone calls in a male and a female washroom, they have every legal right to be there. Whether or not it makes people uncomfortable, that's a completely different story. But that's
Okay.
just here in Toronto. We're progressive that way.
You poor bastards.
So my thought is on the whole bathroom issue is why do we have separate bathrooms to begin with?
That's a fair point. I mean, to an extent.
You know, and my thought was always because women don't want to pee next to some guy with massive diarrhea from eating gummy worm or gummy bears.
Marco.
I'm going to plead the fifth on this one.
You don't get to plead the fifth. You're not an
There's
American
no fifth
citizen.
in Canada.
Dang.
You got double teamed.
Yeah, seriously. Didn't feel good.
So that's what those gummy bears feel like, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the Triggercast, where anything is possible.
Yeah, anything's possible until we get shut down.
If you
I'm
believe.
sure that'll be soon.
Well, I mean, I highly doubt this podcast will ever be eligible for monetization.
Oh yeah, right.
For many reasons.
I don't think Google really needs to send us anything besides a photo of them pointing to the name.
Like, that's where we ended it. I'd like to appeal
But
this.
speaking,
Nope.
they won't. They won't. The tab to appeal is blacked out. But speaking of not being able to monetize, apparently YouTubers are being demonetized for covering Call of Duty. I love this WW2.
Yeah, I had to edit that.
Who edited my? I thought it was you. That was great. I love it. But so it's a Kotaku article, and I was paying attention to this for a little bit because it makes sense. You remember the whole YouTube ad issues from the past 6 months, where if things are like slightly triggering, my fingers are going up and down, they're being delisted because say a Huggies or Pampers commercial airs on, say, PewDiePie's channel, and it's nothing but raging cocks and shit. Not to throw PewDiePie out there, but I mean, a big name, people are gonna know it immediately when they say it. Not the right content for a diaper commercial,
Right.
you know. And this has been going on for a while, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what was it, last month or March? 250 companies made a mass exodus from YouTube's ad program.
Really?
That punched YouTube in the gut big time.
So,
because you know,
go ahead.
So go ahead.
I think you're going to say exactly what I was going to say.
Say it so I may not.
So I was going to say that YouTube was already it was already running on a deficit.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
It's like we're the same person.
Yeah, pretty much. So YouTube's always ran on a deficit. What's kept it afloat and alive are the content creators making it viable in terms of just the sheer traffic, you know? If there weren't PewDiePies, if there weren't Markipliers, if there weren't Jacksepticeye's, if there weren't Call of Duty players, which is funny we're talking about this. I mean, Call of Duty is what made YouTube the giant it is. There's no denying it. I mean, all those Call of Duty videos for the little 8 and 9 year olds that couldn't get the
That's
game.
True.
You know, so this is an interesting conundrum because, you know, they're complaining because they're like, even popular Call of Duty channels are worried about conveying, because World War II is considered, what's the exact words?
Controversial?
It's yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's something that's very fictional. I mean, not fictional. It's very real. It's happened. It's a bad event and whatnot. And YouTubers are the big YouTubers that are trying to appeal this is saying, well, this is a video game depicting a historical event. It's not us saying, oh, hey, go out here and do this. It's just, you know, it's World War II. It's 70 something years old now. I mean, you know. Am I for a little bit of, you know, restriction on YouTube? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can totally understand an advertisers for, like I said, for Pampers not wanting to be on a channel like that, you know? I totally understand that, and that's the big problem with YouTube, are the ads. They need to make up, like, kind of a system to where, like, the ads in the videos are kind of appropriate.
Yes.
You know? Like say a gun ad on a, you know, Call of Duty channel, not that fucking shit Quattro nightmare on fucking everything.
Someone sounds a little triggered.
Those were terrible. You try and watch Honest trailers repeatedly, and this was, oh, Dan, you can
I know exactly
totally
what
agree
you're
with me
talking
on this. Last year, oh my god, the same shit Quattro commercial over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it was that dumb skit with those guys with their own show. Ugh.
Yeah, anyway. But what I'm getting at is I can understand advertisers wanting to be on the things they want to be on, you know?
Definitely.
I'm not for this, you know, this whole thing about penalizing, you know, content creators for, you know, they're bringing in views. If they're not going to get paid, they're going to flee.
Yeah, it's true.
And I mean, a lot of YouTubers have brought this up. You know, there's VidMe now. I mean, a YouTuber Dan and I enjoy, Critical, he's Penguin Zero on YouTube, has said Pornhub's a viable option right now if they really wanted to try.
It's true. It's YouTube is acting like there's no other platform out there to do exactly what they do. And
isn't that what killed Blockbuster?
Yeah, that's exactly what killed Blockbuster. I was going to make that comparison. It's like we're the same person. Woo!
This is scary. I don't want to be Mexican.
Hey, today everybody's Mexican. Well, I don't know when this is going to air, but today is Cinco de Mayo.
Well, it's recording on Cinco de Mayo. It's going to come out tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. Anyway.
Because I have to go. I'm going mini golfing after this, so yeah, that's why I can't get it today.
Anyway.
So yeah, what I'm saying is that YouTube can't act like it's the last Coke in the middle of the desert. It's got to be able to compete.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, we're on what, month 2 of this YouTube ad boycott? I mean, how long? Because PewDiePie and H3H3 have already reported massive losses. Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, those are the two big guys, you know. I mean, PewDiePie obviously being the biggest, and I mean, people complain, oh, he made 15 million, boo freaking who, when he loses money. I mean, sure, yeah, boo freaking who. I mean, he has plenty of money to survive. But who wants to stay on something if they're not going to make money, where they could go somewhere else and make more money, or the same amount they were making previously?
Exactly. That's true. And another thing people have to take into account is, like, once you get used to a certain amount of income, regardless of what it may be, $1 million a month or $2 a month, if that changes, yeah, of course it's going to throw a wrench in your plans. You know?
Right. And I mean, YouTube is going to become the you know, the tech building computer channel, and I guess who knows what else, because apparently, Dan, you'll have to correct me, didn't a lot of feminists and social justice warriors get marked as explicit and got demonetized?
I think it was the LGBT videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got under restricted mode. Their videos were taken down.
Wow.
Wow, it went that far?
And I think they since fixed it.
Damn. No, you can't make any money. You can't even view the video, so you're definitely not making money.
Yeah, they're not family friendly.
Yeah, see, I find that pretty weird because I feel like finding the appropriate ad is as easy as looking for a particular tag, right? Like if it says LGBT or gay YouTube, then you can air certain things.
Right.
Yeah, but the tags can also be misleading because there's a PewDiePie video, and I feel like we're name dropping him a lot. But anyways, there's a video he did where he was talking about demonetization, and he went into a restricted mode to find out which of his videos were still up, and all his videos are gone except for one that has a whole bunch of Elsa games where Elsa is breastfeeding. You can spank Elsa, and it's up there because under the tags he put family friendly.
Oh, jeez.
That's trolling, though. And I can understand YouTube having so many videos. This is, like, next to impossible. But they gotta find a middle ground. They gotta find it fast.
Yep. Yeah, that's agreeable.
Marco, you're
But going back to the Call of Duty trailers and World War II stuff.
WW2.
I had mentioned it in the previous podcast. Not the one that never aired. The one before that. I checked out the trailer when it was supposed to go on live. It was about a minute long, and there was a ton of pre-show and post-show crap that I just couldn't really pay enough attention to. It's developed by Activision again. There was a huge emphasis on time-accurate weapons, and it was like... It was like... There's no gimmick there. I don't understand why they're pushing that part so far. It's like, yeah, if you're going to make a World War II game, of course you're going to have time-accurate weapons if you're Activision, and... Like, what are you trying to get at, you know?
That's actually not true, because Black Ops had some historical problems with their weapons.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. The FAMAS was in the game, and that didn't come out until almost half a decade to a decade later, and they also had laser sights when those weren't invented until later.
That's fair, but I feel like going into World War II, like any of the historical wars, really...
Not Battlefield 1.
Really? Tell me more.
Have you seen some of the weapons in Battlefield 1? Have you watched the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
Some of them, they try and give them that whole steampunky what-if scenario, but some of them are just like a little too preposterous for the era.
That's fair. So maybe I'm being a little too rough on them for the emphasis on time-accurate weapons.
I don't think it's being rough at all. I think it's something like... I mean, who would really want to play Call of Duty Revolutionary Warfare with just a flintlock that would take a minute and best case scenario to reload and then is highly inaccurate beyond 5 feet?
That doesn't sound fun.
Understand. We have to...
Well, there was a canceled Call of Duty game that was about Rome, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
It was like a medieval
Honestly, I don't know about that one.
Roman War.
There was really one called Call of Duty Roman War?
Supposed to be.
Tell me you could do chariot races.
Oh, I bet you could.
That would have been awesome. Chariot races with miniguns attached.
Yeah.
Isn't there always a chase scene in the Call of Duty stories, though?
It's how they get the adrenaline going, because, nothing gets the adrenaline going like some cliched chase sequences.
True. Anyway, so from the trailer, it looked like very much a typical Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Just die already.
I don't know. I like that it's going back to World War II because my favorite one was Call of Duty 2. So I like that it's back in World War II. I feel like that name is kind of dumb, though.
Better than Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1 was actually really regarded as a pretty solid game.
I just meant the title.
Yeah, the name's silly.
Well, the title's atrocious, but I mean, it at least conveys Battlefield 1. You do get the point of World War 1.
That's fair.
Without having to go Battlefield WW1.
Yeah. Or like you said, if it was called the Great War, that also would have been good. But I don't think people would know that World War I was originally called the Great War.
Or calling it the Great War nowadays and glorifying war with the social justice warriors. Probably not a good idea.
They'd be like, what's so great about it? Anyways, moving along here.
Well, the great thing about it is there's a black man on the cover. There you go. Ha. Be happy.
That'll shut you up. We put a black guy on there. No.
Didn't know, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Triggercast. And if you're triggered...
Is it? You say it all the time.
I know. It's just so people remember.
I think I should edit out every time you say the Triggercast just so people can get confused. Like, isn't this where Marco should say the Triggercast because they said something highly offensive, but I don't hear it, so I don't know what's going on?
Actually, you should bleep it and just put in there someone saying fag party.
Dang.
Okay, so moving along here. Okay,
Move
so
along.
Prey came out
Move along.
today.
Did
It
it?
did.
What?
And I played the demo on PS4 because it wasn't out on PC.
Peasant.
And you get to play the first hour. And before I even finished it, I was already hooked. I was already ready to spend the money on it because my first thought was that it was BioShock in space. It's that it brings in that close quarters type combat along with some interesting powers, and there's also a good twist in the beginning that I won't give
spoilers?
away.
I'm at the twist
Oh, yeah.
right now.
So I
Yeah.
thought it was very cool. So I bought it on PC, and I played the first 45 minutes, and I'll have a video of that up soon, probably after this
Nice.
podcast.
Did you have a glitch, by the way, in like the first 5 minutes?
What do you mean, glitch?
I don't know what happened, but I was, typical PC game, I edit settings before playing, and then I hit new game, and I still have audio, and then the game loads, and the audio just stops altogether. Like, still playing the game, Alan Wu is talking to me on that communicator and whatnot, and I'm playing the game, and so I exit, I come back to the game, and the game has audio again.
Oh, and I didn't run into that, but again, I didn't change the settings because I wanted to see. I looked at them to see what they were set at, and then I played it just to see what it was like. I'll go in and tweak some stuff because it's not quite right where I want it, but I wanted to get a good 45 minutes in before I messed with anything.
What graphical preset did it set it to?
Medium for most stuff, and then like
Okay.
4x anti-aliasing. And that's all I can remember.
So basically medium preset?
What's that?
Go again.
Basically medium
Yeah,
preset?
basically. So.
What was your frame rate, out of curiosity?
I don't have an exact number. Didn't feel like 60, but close. So I could probably do some tweaking to get it up there.
Did you get any stuttering?
Okay.
Only in the beginning when it shows the character selection. That's the only part I really noticed it.
Yeah, all right. That's fair.
Have you been in combat yet?
Yeah, and maybe there was some there,
Okay.
but it wasn't enough for me to notice it.
Download EVGA Precision X16 and run that with the monitoring settings on, or MSI Afterburner if you're using that, and turn on the monitoring to see what the FPS will be, or just fraps if you want to get really lazy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get an idea of what I'm.
Just out of
Get an idea
curiosity.
of what I'm running it at.
Yeah.
Because I'm somewhere between the minimum and recommended on the graphics card.
Yeah, because the minimum's a 660, you have a 960, and the recommended is a 970.
So it's playing decent
Mark,
enough
what are
for
those
me.
numbers?
I get it. I'm not a complete idiot.
Yes, you are.
I just don't
Alright, what's
don't
the
feel
difference
as
between the 960
passionately.
and the 970?
What? Go again.
What's the difference between the 960? Oh, hang on, I'll make it. What's the difference between the 660 and the 960?
And processing power.
These are graphics cards, bro.
Yeah. I'm not wrong.
Processing
power,
graphics.
really?
Yeah.
Alright, well, okay, fine. In broad strokes, you're.
I mean, it's
you're
called
correct.
GPU.
Graphics processing unit. Thank you very much for adding the G. Dan didn't forget the G. Marco forgot the G. Marco's not.
I'm not wrong. I'm just not as detailed as you guys are because, again, I'm not as passionate about graphical output as you guys are.
Because you're a console peasant that takes what's given
Indeed.
to you at full
You take
price
it and you like it.
or more. Oh. Did we fail to mention that Dan, myself, my youngest brother, and his dad, Dan's dad, got the game for $36, and if Marco wants it, he has to pay $60.
Yeah. Good job jumping on that, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Word of mouth, baby. 4 keys sold. Well, 3, excluding myself.
You're practically their agent.
Practically.
I'm not going to tell you how I discovered it because they don't deserve credit. They will not be credited.
Oh.
Oh. Mysteries. But Prey is awesome. I am enjoying it so far. That twist was great.
Yeah.
But we don't want to spoil it for Marco.
Nope.
Yeah, well, don't spoil it for them. For the listeners sitting over there.
Like we said in the previous podcast, we could care less about them.
Well, okay, fine.
We don't care about our listeners. That's great.
It's the Triggercast,
Welcome to the
right?
Triggercast. We don't like you.
At least we're honest.
Yep.
No, I get it. Yeah, they don't want spoilers. Oh, by the way, Adam Jensen's in this game.
The voice actor or actually him?
I think he's just
Oh
trolling.
my god, you... Yes, you butchered it by asking that.
It's not funny if you explain it, man.
No, that's why I just stopped.
Anyway.
Oh well. Did you hear that a parent in Wisconsin called the cops because a kid showed up dressed as Darth Vader on May the 4th be with you day?
I did hear about that.
And that's the last time I'm saying that.
Wisconsin? Do they even know what Star Wars is over there?
Apparently not, because a concerned parent called police after seeing someone walk into the school wearing a black outfit and a mask. Like, the most iconic black outfit and mask, and she calls the cops.
Is there
Wow.
a picture of the mask? I'm not seeing it.
It's Darth Vader.
Are you serious? Did you just ask that question?
Well, I'm trying to see if it's a legitimate mask or if he made one.
Ah, okay. So you're...
There's no photo, but they keep saying he was dressed as Darth Vader.
I mean, I'm sure it was obvious to most people. I'm just trying to figure out if there was some reasonable skepticism or reasonable,
Okay.
So 2 things here that strike me that just, just come out at full blare.
Wow.
Whatever. Is there...
Hold on. We'll go back 5 seconds. Now go.
We're not going back anymore. I will keep my errors alive. The thing that one of the things that blows my mind is there's a parent, someone out there that doesn't know what the fuck Star Wars is. Like, how did this person go 40 years without knowing what Star Wars is?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, surprisingly,
Seriously,
I know a few people that are not very familiar with Star Wars, but even they know what Star Wars is.
Come on, Darth Vader is one of the most recognizable, iconic characters of all time.
It's true.
Even people that don't like Star Wars know what Darth Vader
Yeah.
is.
I found a
True.
picture of the kid, and that's definitely Darth
Yeah.
Vader. Who,
Like,
I mean, he is a
send
scary
me the photo.
character, so I mean, maybe that parent just had flashbacks or something.
Send me a
Flashbacks
photo
to
over
Rogue
just,
One.
Skype chat. Rogue One. Oh, is that why she called the police? She was so triggered by Rogue One, she had to call the cops?
Yeah.
Or was she trying... Oh, was this a publicity stunt to get no press on to that day? Because I'm not saying that word anymore. Ooh, ulterior motives. The part that really irks me is the school. The school district says it was a misunderstanding where a student wore a Star Wars costume for, unfortunately I have to say it again, May the 4th be with you day. There was no intent of a threat, but the student will be held accountable.
For what?
The student is going to get disciplined for a parent not recognizing Darth Vader.
What?
Yeah, that sucks.
It's not that kid's fault. The school, from what I understand, is since the kid was going to school like this, the school district didn't announce you can't come dressed up, and if you do come dressed up, you can't cover your face. Because I remember, Dan, you might remember this, and Marco, you might remember this. We all went to Estero High School. Is when there would be those dress-up days, you weren't allowed to cover your face.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
They were very big on it. You could come dressed up, you can't cover your face.
That's fair. Like I understand that as as a person working in the security industry, I understand having that rule. But if it's not announced, then you can't enforce it.
Exactly, and the article doesn't state the school district was against it, so that leads me, the reader, to believe they were for this and they were well aware of the day. I mean, not many people know that day is that day. I'm tired of saying that name. But yeah, it just blows my mind. The kid's gonna get disciplined over this.
Yeah, that's.
How about the parent that made a false 911 call?
Well, I wouldn't go as far
Does
as
this count as a false 911 call?
I wouldn't say it's false. It's her perception of it, right? So, I'm looking at the article now, and it specifically says they thought his plastic costume was a ballistic type vest.
Yeah, they
So
thought he was a shooter.
Yeah, exactly.
Darth Vader uses a lightsaber, not a blaster. Come on.
I think the real tragedy is that someone didn't recognize Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's sad.
One of the greatest space Nazis ever.
I would have loved to have been part of the response team, just to laugh out loud as soon as I saw the kid. Like he's cornered. He's cornered in a classroom, sitting there in the fetal position, crying, rocking back and forth. I walk in with a gun and be like, "Don't move!" Bah! Never mind. Let's go back to the donut shop, guys.
It's just Vader.
Or he's got the lightsaber in hand, and you have like that moment of like the heat of the moment where you forget lightsabers are fake and you think it's real, and you're like, oh shit.
Never had that.
We're fucked, guys.
Or maybe they were trying to reenact the last scene of Rogue One. Who knows?
Which is funny, because I actually thought of a defense for it, because a lot of the complaints for that scene are based on how Vader moves. Right. Is my defense of it is, this is Vader that just freshly came out of the bacta tank, so he's not really in that much pain right now.
Oh, okay.
So he would be able to move around more freely. And by the time we get to the end of episode 4, he's obviously been hunting down the rebels for however long it's been, because they don't really specify time real well in the Star Wars universe in terms of movies as they play.
Yeah.
And since Rogue One ends immediately with 4 beginning, you could say he's moving slower, and 4 is he's been up for so long, he hasn't been out of, he hasn't gotten out of the suit, that he could be kind of in pain.
So you're saying by like episode 6, all of the morphine has come out of his system?
Probably.
Probably.
That's feasible.
But I'm specifically going to 4 because in 5 and 6 he fights a lot better. And 5 and 6, there's a couple year delay in between both films.
So it went back to the back tank.
Exactly. But that's at least my defense in 4, why he looks like he's just prodding the damn thing, and why an old man can almost push him aside.
That's fair.
Like, because that TBS was airing the movies yesterday, and I was watching it when it was on TV, and I was, this is a dude in a mechanized robot cyborg suit, and, he just him and an old man, and they, when you get up with someone, you want to push them out of the way, it's like, wait, Vader should just, like, totally throw him across the room at that point. He's not.
There's also the connection, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's basically all I had. Still a crappy movie, though.
Yeah.
Rogue One, the first Star Wars, is good.
Yeah, not 4, but Rogue One. Although I will say, I think Rogue One's going to age better than Force Awakens.
Probably, because it's not a freaking carbon copy of 4.
I mean, and I'm saying that with all the problems I had with Rogue One, which we've talked about, so I think it's going to age better.
True. Yeah. I went into Rogue One feeling like I experienced something a little new, even though it's a prequel, like an immediate prequel.
Yeah.
Whereas Force Awakens, I was like, that's a New Hope with a different character right there. And a different colored character right there playing that character.
Yep. And the only difference...
And a different ethnic
The only
character.
difference in Force Awakens is that the desert planet has one sun instead of two.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bring it back to gaming if y'all don't mind.
Fine.
We mind
Fine.
highly.
Damn it. Okay, go ahead.
My vagina.
Phoenix Point is a game being developed by Julian Gollop. If y'all don't know who that is, he was the creative director behind the original XCOM. Feelings on XCOM, guys?
I haven't played it.
Ever?
Actually, no. But it did look interesting.
Oh. Manny?
What was it? XCOM. What was the one that was really cool in third person and people hated? XCOM Declassified or something?
Oh, yeah. I think it was that one.
I like that one. I don't care much for XCOM. I'm not big on RTS games.
Alright, that's fair. So, I bought it for PlayStation Vita, and it's been basically the only game I played since I bought it, and that was in December of last year. Pretty interesting game.
So you only have one game for your Vita?
Well, no, it's just the only one I'm playing.
I'm being sarcastic.
God damn it. So Phoenix Point is a new game. It's being crowdfunded through fig.co. So as of this morning, and by this morning I mean like 11, almost noon, there were 7,536 backers for a grand total of $557,317 for a $500,000 goal. So knocking it out of the park.
Damn.
Yep. 111% of their goal has been reached. And there's still 33 days left to back it.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. It looks very much like an XCOM set in a Fallout universe. And the story is basically because of the melting ice caps, of the planet, like the polar ice caps. They're the two big ice thing. Never mind. Anyway, there was a virus that was released into the air, and it combines human DNA with various animal DNA. So the game promises that the enemies will be constantly evolving, and they're going to adapt to your play style in order to fuck you even harder. It promises really, really big battles with really big creatures, which I'm pretty interested in seeing in a turn-based strategy game. And here's the kicker: destructible environments, akin to Red Faction.
Nice.
So if you guys are interested in turn-based strategy games, or if you'd like to see an XCOM on steroids, basically, go back up Phoenix Point. That's fig.co, and I think it's one of the featured games right now.
There's
Thoughts?
also a Phoenix Point movie, but that's not the game.
Am I the only one who, every time you say Phoenix Point, I'm thinking Phoenix Wright?
Objection! That one?
Yeah, every time you're saying Phoenix Point, I'm waiting for an attorney just, Well, make a topic, Dan. Jeez. You only brought 4.
Just look around your environment. What do you find?
My dog.
Well, what's your dog
I
doing
love
right
how
now?
wildly unprepared Dan is for this. 4 topics, really?
Hey, I thought I did pretty well. Till I saw what Marco put up, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to be out quick.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
And
you want me to
you
take
do
like the
nothing to
next
remedy
3?
that?
I'll get it over with.
Yeah, just keep going. I got more coming.
Yeah, Marco, take over for Dan. He's inadequate. You need to find more
That's
Dan.
all right.
Down.
Well,
Man down.
Don't revive him.
Dan knows about Nintendo.
Yep.
So I'm sure he
No, he
knows
doesn't.
about the 2DS XL,
Oh, yes,
was
the
just
next
announced.
doorstop coming from Nintendo.
right? See,
The one Dan and I bashed in the previous podcast.
essentially. Yeah,
Yep.
that one.
Let's bash it some more.
So, it's got no 3D effects anymore. They got rid of that because naturally nobody cares about 3D, which really sucks.
That is bullshit.
Again, I'm stuck with this $4,000 3D TV. Well, I'm sure it's worth like $50 now, but yeah. Anyway, 3D left rather quickly. Anyway, it's got amiibo support. It's got the additional Z buttons and a C stick instead of a C pad. That's the yellow buttons.
Okay.
It's compatible with
the N64 controller.
Yeah, there you go. It's compatible with all the 3D XL titles, and it's coming in white and orange. The argument has been made that it's white and gold, but according to all the pictures that I've seen, it looks white and orange. So if you want to correct me, leave it down in the comments. I'll be listening. And it comes in black and blue as well.
There you go, Dan. I found you a speaking point. I'll text it to you.
I just got something because I forgot that Marco lives in Canada.
I was actually going to say, didn't you want to ask Marco about his healthcare problems?
Ha! What healthcare problems?
Well, we heard you were dying.
Well, I was just going to ask because I've heard whenever someone talks about healthcare, they always go to how much greater it is in Canada or Britain. So, Marco, with you being in Canada, have you had any personal experience in the healthcare system, and what are your thoughts?
I think it's fantastic, actually. It did throw me for a loop the first couple of times I visited a doctor. Not for anything serious like coughs and dumb crap like that.
He's a mimic.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, it's one of those things where like you grow up in the States and you're expecting to pay the person. But no, you like go back up to the reception desk and you're like, okay, so how much is that going to be? And they're like, nothing. You're like, what do you mean? They're like, nothing, go home. Like, what? Like, so I walk in with a cough. Guy tells me to drink more water. And I leave for free? No. But that's how it works.
So was that your only experience?
Yeah, as far as the medical system, like I think I've gotten the cold twice. I had the flu back in 2008? No, 2009.
Okay.
Something like that. And yeah, it's all taken care of.
And how long did you have to wait to be seen?
About an hour, but they're all like the only experiences that I've had are like small walk-in clinics with not a whole lot of clientele.
Oh, okay.
But I did work in a hospital, so I know what that the emergency room looks like.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he's asking?
Well, no, just basic experience, because from what I've gathered from back here in the States is that, yes, Canada has the free healthcare, but the wait times are excessively long. In fact, there was a Supreme Court decision in 2005 that ruled that people should be allowed to purchase privatized health insurance because the wait times were so long they were a violation of human rights.
Right. Yeah, I did hear about that, and it did gain a lot of traction with a lot of people, but ultimately people don't want to pay for their health care.
Yeah.
But it's not wrong. I have, when I used to work at an unspecified hospital back in 2011 to 2012, unless you're going in there and have one of those, like the ABCs, you have trouble with your airway, you have any deadly bleeds or circulation, then, yeah, basically. So the basic premise is, unless you're going to die within the next hour, you're going to be waiting there for over 2 hours at least. That's the fastest I've ever seen it.
Okay.
But I've also seen it as long as like 4 to 6 hours. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember there was no names here, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was an old lady who came in for something that was very minor, something that you would go to a walk-in clinic for, and I distinctly remember her being there almost 8 hours, and that was like in comparison to my shift, which was 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So the wait times are longer than you would expect it in a U.S. hospital.
Okay.
But it balances itself out with the free healthcare.
Yeah, I mean, I can name stories of, there was one woman who had to have a leg removed, and she ended up waiting so long she actually had to get both removed because of whatever problem that was in the one spread to the other.
Right.
And that's
I
it
remember
happens.
something like
I mean, in America, we have horrible health stories as well. But if I could find it real quick, I think Canada's healthcare was in the top 11 healthcare systems of the world. America being 11th, Canada I think was 10th.
Yeah, they're like.
So not to knock Canada's healthcare system, I'm just asking, about it. But
Canada can barely beat America. Woo. Sad.
No, it's one of those things where like the doctors in Canada are just as good and just as qualified as American doctors, except that here you get the added, I guess, inconvenience of waiting a long time if your problem isn't life or death.
right. So, okay. Well, I just wanted to get your perspective since you're actually in it, and I've heard people who have been through it, but I'd like to get more firsthand knowledge.
Yeah,
And you've actually been through it and worked in it, so.
So as long as I don't get really, really sick within the next 65 years, I think I'll be all right.
All right.
Dies tomorrow.
Mysteriously.
Mexico's black.
The Ebola plague. The Mutaba virus.
Dang. Anyway,
Moving on.
to bring it back to gaming, this one's a PC thing for both of yous.
Woohoo.
Bring it on.
I came across Project Wingman, not Windman. What the hell's a Windman?
I don't know.
Project Wingman for PC. It's a new game under development by RB-2. Wow, fuck that one up. Can I start again?
Nope.
Project Wingman, inspired by Ace Combat, in development by RBD2.
There you go.
Visually advanced, currently a demo, one mission, one fighter, promises more jets, more weapons, a campaign mode, and horde mode. With a link I will put in the description. Yawn, move on.
Oh.
Wow.
Dang.
That was... Damn. Do you want to just take the other ones? Apparently my notes are good enough to just, like, hand them over to anybody. No, but what I wanted to say is that this game is basically made to scratch the itch that Ace Combat is leaving, because the last Ace Combat came out several years ago, and the next one is in development for VR, so we've still got a ways to wait.
Yeah, and in terms of saving up money for that VR crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because instead of treating it like a peripheral, they're treating it like a platform.
Yeah, seriously.
Fucking Christ, man.
So,
But this game actually has my interest in terms of... Did you ever play Tom Clancy's Hawks?
yes, I actually really liked Hawks.
The first one was awesome.
The second one kind of sucked. It was very arcadey.
That's what I heard, and I never played it, so good.
Yeah, if you want a flight simulator, don't play Hawks 2.
Nah. I'll play,
I'll
other
play
games.
TIE Fighter.
Ah.
Yeah.
That old one.
PC, motherfuckers. Backwards compatibility at all times.
Dang.
Unless you're Fallout 3.
What
On
do you mean?
Steam, Fallout 3 does not play well with anything higher than Windows XP or 7. Although I think there's a fix.
It's not optimized for 7. There's probably a fix for the INI files. You just have to do it yourself.
Yeah, so. But that's just one game out of how many?
All of them.
Millions.
Yeah.
The one, of course, made by Bethesda doesn't play well. Surprise.
That's weird.
Yeah, there's a warning
yeah.
on the page. It says, not optimized for Windows 7 and later. And I'm
How
like,
interesting.
Well, it works for
All right.
Windows Vista, though.
So wait. Would you have to download a Windows Vista emulator on your more advanced PC to run the game?
Some games you have to do that. You have to have dual boot modes in order to play some of the older games. It's perfectly normal on PC because we have to do that from time to time because some games are just so old it won't function on a newer Windows. So at least we have that option, Sony. You can't even boot in PS2 mode. You have to boot in PS4 mode, and you're screwed.
Yeah. That would be good. Sony, take
That's
notes.
what happens when you get 2 PCMRs and you know, whatever Marco is in the same podcast.
Sony Pony.
I don't think that's derogatory enough.
Oh, okay. Well, by all means.
So did you know Overwatch is Activision Blizzard's $8 billion franchise?
Jeez.
Yeah.
I,
It was just announced today. Yes.
Their 8th billion? 8 billion or 8th billion?
Their 8th billion dollar franchise.
Dang. Oh, here it is.
How do you not
Here it
get
is.
that? Jeez.
Oh, there's
8th
even an emoji
But
here.
apparently the other games are StarCraft, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Call of Duty, Destiny, and Skylanders.
So every Overwatch
So basically
game or every
half-
Blizzard game.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Basically, with the exception of Call of Duty, Destiny, and I don't know if Blizzard has anything to do with Skylanders.
No, I don't think they do.
But yeah, I think Activision buying Blizzard all those years ago was probably a great
That was
idea.
the best idea they made. Best idea.
That actually explains why Call of Duty can just be shit every year, because there'll be the people that'll buy it, the diehard fans that still bring in enough revenue, and they can just fall back on Blizzard. Like, hey Blizzard, we need some money. Okay, hold my beer.
Here comes Overwatch.
Part 2.
Battleborn what?
That-
What's Battleborn?
Yeah, seriously.
That's
It's like the
right.
unwanted stepchild of MOBAs.
What's funny is we wanted Borderlands 3, not Team Fortress 2 from that studio. It was, don't get me wrong, Battleborn was an interesting idea. Don't get me wrong. I will admit it's an interesting idea. Wrong studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
But
so.
from time to time, you got to switch it up, just like Guerrilla Games did with Horizon.
True, but they weren't treading into someone else's territory that could blow them out of the
That's
park.
true. Like if Guerrilla tried to take on Fallout 5. Ha!
Not happening.
One can dream.
The only people that seem to be able to do that is the latest Fallout 4 felt like Far Cry Apocalypse Edition, with how they dumbed it down so much.
I haven't.
Oh, Dan has a topic, huh?
You know, the point of typing is to kind of keep it subtle and behind the scenes.
Yeah, seriously, it was going
Fuck
so
subtlety.
smoothly up until you started reading the chat.
Yeah.
Been doing it this whole time.
It's smooth and
But
then comes
Dan.
to a screeching halt.
But that's the best part. But no, that's all I got on this. So yeah, you can move on to your Star Wars
Okay.
point.
Oh god.
Yep. Okay, so director of The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson, or Rian Johnson. I think it's Ryan, he just spells it weird. Apparently as...
The guy that's altering canon just because he can.
Yeah, well, apparently he altered Force Awakens as well. And I like that this article, where's the date on it? Oh, today. Says, spoilers for The Force Awakens follow. I mean, who hasn't seen Force Awakens yet?
Probably the lady who doesn't know who Darth Vader is.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Damn.
So-
That was quick.
So other than changing Kylo Ren's scar, he apparently asked J.J. Abrams to switch up the droids that were going with Rey to see Luke. And after reading this, because originally it was supposed to be BB-8 going with Rey to find Luke, but it changed it to R2
And Chewbacca.
and Chewbacca. Well, yeah. He's going to be there either way. But changed it to R2 so that they would be united. And I thought that was a good idea, and I don't know why J.J. Abrams wouldn't have done R2, since they're like best bros.
Well, wouldn't BB-8 go with Rey because Rey saved BB-8, so Rey would be more aligned with Rey than Poe? Because Poe left it wandering in the desert aimlessly.
Yeah, but they have a history together.
He's a horrible master. He abandoned his dog in the desert.
No, he told the dog
Yeah,
to go
'cause
away
Anakin
because
isn't a horrible.
he was going to get blown up.
He could have went with the dog. He didn't have to stand there and shoot the guys. They weren't even paying attention to him.
Holding them off so that BB-8 could get away.
Oh, by what? Firing prematurely and then getting force choked like a little bitch?
I have those problems.
Okay.
That's why I used it that way.
Nice.
All right. So there's that. Also, one thing I just thought of, Mark Hamill had a different idea for how Han Solo's death would go. Spoiler alert. Too late. He was hoping that Leia would have, like, talked to Luke in, using the Force, and so that Luke would have been there when Han got killed, so that there would have been this great reunion between the original three. And so he was kind of disappointed that that didn't actually happen, that Luke will never meet Han again. The last time they see each other is on Endor.
Never say never again. I thought the Jedi could communicate with the dead.
That's if the dead are Jedi.
Yeah, and Han doesn't believe in that nonsense. Or he did later. So, but I doubt he's...
Well, yeah, because he was Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Force Awakens.
Yeah. So, I thought that was interesting, and after reading what Mark Hamill said, I was like, man, that would have been so much better.
You know how Mark Hamill communicates with Harrison Ford? I mean, Han Solo? I mean, Luke communicating with Han Solo? Luke gets high on acid.
Yeah. Creates a little seance and summons Han Solo.
Since Rey is the new Han Solo, there you go. Problem solved. Luke is communicating with Han Solo.
Oh, there we go. Problem solved, as you said.
Feels like fan service, though.
The whole Force Awakens movie was fan service.
That's a good point.
It
was.
Okay.
I can't really argue that one.
It was a $4 billion fan service movie.
$4 movie.
Essentially.
Yeah, it had a $4 plot.
I mean, I understand why they kept it safe and did it so similar, because they're introducing a whole lot of new characters and stuff. But, I mean, come on. It's a carbon copy.
So wait, we got Hitler, we got Emo Teen, we got Gilligan from Gilligan's Island, we got a black guy, we got a dog, we got a carpet, we got annoying jackass with the red arm.
You mean Venom C-3PO?
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh, it's my turn again? Okay.
Again, reading the chat. Damn it, man.
You know I'm going to do it as you guys keep making points about it.
Anyway, take it away.
I'm trying to debate which of my many topics I want to bring up, because unlike Dan, I came prepared.
I got another one.
You do,
go
huh?
ahead. You got this one. You can do it.
I believe in you.
So, I'm debating, do I want to do the one we did in the failed podcast or something new?
I feel like the one we did in the failed podcast is a good topic.
Okay, since we got Dan here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Polygon wrote an article about Switch games being both bad and good depending on each scenario. It's an interesting article, and the guy goes, there are no good choices and they taste awful. I don't get why this guy is so hard on the cartridges. They're a lot easier to transport than, say, a disc. Like, discs back then before Blu-ray scratched to hell and back faster and easily. The cartridge is just, on the Switch, is like this little rectangle thingy. Like, imagine the PS Vita cartridge, but twice as long, almost. But same width.
It's always length
Just
and
so
width.
Marco has an idea. Yeah, I know. Sexual innuendos are great.
Triggercast.
And the person that wrote the article was saying that transporting Switch cartridges are a pain because you have to transport multiple. And I didn't see the point, because transporting 5 Switch cartridges would be a lot easier than one disc. Because the 5 cartridges can easily go into your pocket. That disc, I mean, unless you have like really wide pockets, it's not really going to go in your pocket easily. And do you really want to put a disc in your pocket?
Yeah.
No.
When when we were doing the dry run, this kind of harkens back to the old Game Boy days, you know, with the cartridges. And like throughout my teens, I never had an issue carrying those around.
No, because you had a backpack. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, exactly. So
and the point I brought up in the Game Boy section was try and put the Nintendo Switch in your pocket. Unless you're in goth pants, it's not happening.
Or Jinko jeans. Those are coming back.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Let's just bring back the see-through shirts.
Oh, the mesh
bell-bottoms?
fishnet shirts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can we make an argument for bell bottoms?
What's a bell bottom?
Scooby-Doo pants. Shaggy pants.
Essentially.
Those aren't terrible. I'll take those over goth pants.
How about capes? Can we get behind capes?
Capes never died.
What?
No capes. Have you watched The Incredibles?
Shut up, Linda Hunt.
It's true, they are a little dangerous.
They're awesome, even when they get you killed.
A glorious capeful death.
Come on, Batman would not be as awesome if he didn't have a cape, because he uses said cape to mask his full size to throw off enemies.
Wow, I had no idea. You're just full of random and awesome Batman facts. But to go back to the cartridges,
yes,
we like back in the day, I remember the Game Boy games had the plastic cases that they came in. So if it's really, really so difficult to carry Switch cartridges, why don't you just make one of them little cases?
Yeah, or just use the case they come in, the rectangle container they come in.
Yeah.
Container's the wrong word. And just stuff a few more cartridges in there. Sure, they'll slide around a little bit, but, you know, at least you have a protective box for them, and it takes up a little bit of room. And since you're transporting your Switch, you're most likely using a bag. Why not just use a spare side pocket in said bag?
Mm-hmm.
And stop taking the things I brought up in that podcast nobody knows about. I'm the one who brought up the Game Boy. I'm the one who brought up the game protection thingy.
Yeah, I know, but you weren't saying it, so...
Well, I haven't had a chance.
Okay, fine. You want to take the last one, then? You want to take mine?
Not really. I don't like yours.
Are we just taking them now? Taking each other's
We're
points?
taking them.
Well, you guys can't have mine.
Hey, guy who needed a point brought to him, shut up.
All right.
But the reason and then why cartridges are great, it was about the hard drive space in the Switch being terrible since it's only 32 gigabytes, and since you can just have cartridges to pull in and out and not take up hard drive space, I'm like, I feel like you're just grasping here, like for
Content.
You just knocked cartridges as why they're bad, and now they're good because of the bad hard drive, amount. It's like, take one. I'm sorry your editor told you had to do this.
Yeah, that's true, man. Sometimes, like, I know I've knocked articles before, but I guess we all kind of gotta keep in mind that these people are just doing a job. Like, this is literally J. Jonah Jameson telling Peter to go get more pictures demonizing Spider-Man.
And we all know we would do it if we could.
It's true.
Just randomly flail around the city as Spider-Man, take photos, and then sell ourselves. Wow, he sold himself.
Dang.
I just realized that. He was in his own porno.
What?
The porno umbrella for you, it's like, it's huge. Like,
anything's porn if it gets you aroused or interested or curious.
Well, I'm very tempted to look up the definition of porn to counteract your argument, but I don't want to deal with that right now.
Your girlfriend sees your search history. What the hell?
It's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. I'm a linguist, not a pervert.
Maybe that's my plan all along.
There was a professor at Purdue University, David Sanders, who said that pro-life images of fetuses are child pornography.
Oh, what?
I'm like, what?
But,
It's not. It's not.
No, it's not. But it's like, how far are you gonna push that point? Like, seriously, you can't be offended forever. I mean, I guess some people can.
Some people can, and at everything.
Talk to this generation. Holy shit. Trump won. Get over it.
Deal with it. And come back in 2020 and we'll see, and then we'll talk.
You know what Trump reminds me of sometimes?
Oompa Loompa?
Phil Spencer.
Who?
Phil Spencer. He's got some interesting things to say, wouldn't you say?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Phil Spencer talks, and a lot of it's just garbage, and then some things come out that are coherable, and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Is he going to make Xbox great again?
Well, if he thinks the subscription-based model will pay off, fuck no.
It won't.
He's going to make it worse. But apparently, Phil Spencer doesn't want Microsoft making big narrative games like Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn. He wants it to go in the subscription-based model, like Netflix. And I think that's a really bad direction. I mean, I'm not gonna knock an idea because it's still an idea right now. It's not really applicable. But if this is the direction he really wants to go in, fuck.
So just to clarify,
Microsoft
are you talking like releasing the game in sections?
Well, in the article, when he was speaking, I just had it too, and I closed out of it, dumbass. There it is. I got a text from my mom.
Aww.
That's where we're stopping the entire podcast. We hit the e-brakes over a text from mom.
My dog has an appointment.
Oh, well. So from what I understood in the article, Phil Spencer? Yeah, Phil Spencer was talking about releasing a game similar to how Telltale Games releases them. So paying maybe not full price for a game up front and then releasing it in episodes, making you pay every time you want to reach the next level, basically. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, my takeaway of the whole Phil Spencer subscription thing, and when he's talking in the article, he makes it sound like it's going to release over the length of, like, say, Hitman 2016, like over the course of a year. But also, if you have to realize, subscription means monthly payments. Like Elder Scrolls Online or any MMO or Netflix, the model he quoted as an inspiration. So you're going to pay a monthly subscription, say, for this game. I'm not going to say there's going to be one game. There's probably going to be multiple games because nobody's going to pay a monthly subscription for one game to wait for it to come out, you know? Because think about it. If the game takes 12 months to come out and say the subscription model's $15, you basically paid what? 100 and what? 60? No.
You're going to spend 3 times the amount of the $60 game.
Yeah, 3 times the amount as exactly. And why, you know? Because me personally, I waited for Hitman 2016 to be all in one, the complete season, the first season, whatever, since now they're doing 2 and 3. I just waited for it to come out. There's plenty of other games to come out. This whole subscription thing makes me laugh. I just don't see it working because it's like, of that reason. I mean, it's basically you're paying for them to develop the game and to play it along the way.
Also, for those of you interested in the math, $15 per episode over the span of a year would equal $180, which is more than I would ever pay for a game, unless it was a collector's edition.
I wouldn't even. Well, the Songbird edition is the closest I got to that.
That's fair.
BioShock Infinite? Yeah.
Yeah. With that awesome Songbird statue.
So
that isn't flimsy, by the way.
My thing is, Phil Spencer really makes a point of comparing the subscription model to Netflix, but I have to say that with Netflix, you pay one standard amount per month, but the pace that you consume the content at is up to you. So if you want to just barrel through an entire season of Dexter in one night, and move on to another show after that, that's up to you for the same exact price. If it was a game, however, you can only go so far before you have to pay again in order to progress.
Yeah.
So even then, it's screwing you out of content.
Now, what if they did it like Netflix, where you spent, like, let's say $8 a month to Microsoft itself, and you had access to their entire library?
See, that's different. That's like the PlayStation Now service, which, like
Fuck that.
yeah, like I've mentioned before, is an interesting service at best, but it wouldn't catch on the same way that Netflix does, because with Netflix, let's say I use Dexter as an example because I'm still watching that, but
Good show.
yeah, it is. Let's say that you want to finish the entire show in 3 days. You can do that. With video games, it's not the same. Because, so, you want to watch the entire show, you can do the math, figure out how long each show is, how many seasons, and know that this is how long you've got to go. With a video game, it really depends on how completionist you are, right?
Yep.
So you can't even make a plan based on a subscription.
So now you want to bring math into it, says the guy who wants to do all 96 episodes of Dexter overnight?
Well, I'm just saying.
Even if they're half-hour episodes, that's an impossibility.
Is it?
I had to call you out on it because you went with Dexter, do the whole show in one night, and then you're like, later on in this whole thing, you're like, oh, then you could do the math and whatnot and figure out how many episodes and how many days it would take and whatnot. I'm just like, really?
Can't you, though?
No. Marco, have you seen Dexter all the way through yet?
No spoilers.
Okay. The only thing I will say is that the final episode has 2 endings. Stop at the first one. You'll know why when you get to it.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
He'll forget.
I will likely forget. If you didn't know, ladies and
There's
gentlemen,
why you don't want the second one.
this is the Triggercast. I hadn't said it in a while. It felt weird. I'm sorry.
I feel like you said that out of like panic and terror.
This is the Triggercast.
Well, you know when someone says something, because they just got terrified all of a sudden, it's like totally irrelevant, It's like, okay, we get it, calm down.
I'm scared.
Guys, it's all right. This is the Triggercast. It's okay.
We've been doing a three-way for an hour and 46 minutes. Marco's freaking out.
I had to lube up again.
Marco's used to be in and out in 10 seconds.
I don't want to open that can of worms.
I did for you, that's why.
Yep.
Anyway.
So does Dan finally have a point?
I do.
Or not?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so too. It better not just be Dan found a point real fast.
Well, that kind of what happened.
Did you know NBA Playgrounds is on PS4?
Woo!
NBA Playgrounds?
Yeah, I could care less. I was
just going to say, who cares?
I'm sure there's some people out there.
I think Dan really angered a whole ethnicity saying that.
That's fine. NBA is predominantly black, and no one seems to care about equality of race in that sport. Anyways.
How does the Mexican feel about hearing that? Marco's like insanely quiet right now.
I don't know what to say. I don't disagree.
All right, we got it all. We're good. We got it on record. He doesn't disagree with what you're saying. He's totally in compliance. Let's go.
There was somebody who was arguing, and I don't remember what sport it was, but they were saying that it was too white. And it's like, well, no one says the NBA is too black. Even though it is predominantly black, which is fine, because we can go into the races and genetics and stuff and all that, but that's beside the point. But saying a sport is too white when another sport is predominantly black just seems silly and a waste of time.
When it comes to sports, I really don't understand the equity thing, because it's like they're not they're not selecting these players based on their race. Obviously, they want the stats, they want the skills.
Exactly.
So
we're saying black people are tall?
I'm not saying that.
Not.
There's a legal hurdle you just jumped.
Oh shit, he's a double negative. We're fucked.
Anyway.
Okay, how can this game unlock in less than an hour when it's been almost 2 hours?
Well, that's Steam time.
Super Rude Bear still won't let me download it.
Huh.
The game that should have been able to download at 4 is now somewhere in the under an hour category. My fingers went up and down.
I think there's some technical issues there that you want to investigate.
I did. It's just called 15 seconds or faster.
All right.
Approximately less than an hour to unlock.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
going back to
You
PlayStation.
just said it.
What?
You didn't let Dan do his.
Yeah.
His whole funny point thing.
Oh, I'm so
You're
offended.
cutting him off for the golden shower, so.
offended.
Oh. That was okay. I'm so confused.
Because Dan has to make his little thing about the
Go.
plot badly.
Okay,
thingy.
just some quick things. There's a hashtag on Twitter called "Explain a Film Plot Badly," and I found a few good examples that I just thought were humorous. So
Isn't this 2 years old?
it's still going strong, and it might be. I don't know. Shut up.
Someone's flustered.
Okay, so here's one. It says a young man forcibly binds other men and photographs them for money, and that would be Spider-Man.
Oh, you should have it where
That's
you
terrible.
explain it badly and then we try to guess it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were giving it a chance to
Okay,
guess.
so that'll be the game here. Okay, so a father kills an old man with his bare hands while his son watches.
A father kills an old man. Wait,
A
what?
father kills an old man with his bare hands while his son watches.
Oh, the Wolverine. I'm sorry, Logan.
Nope.
No. It's
Marco?
not Logan?
Feels like a Star Wars thing, but I can't picture the scene.
You're close.
Empire Strikes
Nope.
Back?
Return of the Jedi.
See, I thought it was Logan because of the, Okay, have we all seen Logan?
I have.
So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Logan, fast forward like 5 minutes.
Maybe an hour. No, the reason why I took it as Logan was the scene where Xavier gets stabbed twice, and you know how Logan is like Charles's adoptive son type thing.
Essentially,
you
yeah.
know, that's where I thought Logan.
That's a little too figurative for these.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
you guys ready for the next one? This one's easy.
Ready.
Sure.
Mentally unstable billionaire wants to make home great again. Is criticized by clown.
The Dark Knight.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's a good one. How's that bad? That's actually a
That's
really
like
good
spot
one.
on. Okay. Okay, here's a good one. A pure-hearted man is murdered. Days later, he rises from death with a message for mankind.
Oh, come on. Seriously? Do we have to go there?
Do it.
Passion of the Christ.
Nope.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're going to have to call paramedics to get my foot out of my mouth.
This one is.
Hang on, I didn't get a
Oh,
chance
yeah,
to
go ahead.
guess.
Go ahead. I was gonna say this one is very obscure in the definition.
Well, say the name again.
What's that?
I mean, say the description
Okay,
again.
a pure-hearted man is murdered. Days later, he rises from death with a message for mankind.
Oh, is it that one with Denzel Washington, The Book of Eli?
Nope.
I was thinking the one, what's the one with Keanu Reeves?
The Matrix trilogy?
No, not The Matrix. Really? You thought I forgot about The Matrix?
I don't know. People forget who Darth Vader is, apparently.
Nah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it had Keanu Reeves in it.
Is he right or
No,
wrong?
this one's RoboCop.
Oh,
What message?
that one is obscure as hell. And what message exactly?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, that corporation was evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I feel like it's grasping at straws, but okay.
All right, this.
Yeah, Dan, quick, give us a shit once.
Okay. A family's first Airbnb experience goes very wrong.
Shutter Island?
No.
No. It's The Shining?
You got it.
No.
The Shining.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
10 points for you.
20 points to Gryffindor.
Fuck you and your Harry Potter nonsense.
Okay, now here's a good one. Unsuspecting boy is seduced by a creepy old loner into a game of crime, terrorism, and incest.
What?
Oh, that's A New Hope.
Nope.
Well, Empire is where the incest really happened, Marco.
That's fair.
Say the description again, please.
Okay. Unsuspecting boy is seduced by a creepy old loner into a game of crime, terrorism, and incest.
Oh, is it the one where I see dead people?
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
You guys ready?
Sure, I got
Back
nothing.
to the Future.
Oh,
that one's
should've
actually
known.
really clever.
Okay, last one.
All right.
All right. Priest kidnaps child for cult and eventual marriage to politician twice his age.
Real life?
Real life.
So what was it again? Priest?
Priest kidnaps child for cult and eventual marriage to politician twice his age.
I'm not going to get this one.
I hate politics. I don't know.
It's Phantom Menace.
Oh!
That was good. All right.
That is a good one.
How about one more and then we'll move on.
Okay. All right, small town doctor brings 3 people closer together.
Oh, the Human
That's it.
Centipede?
Oh, damn. That one's horrible.
That's disgusting. All right, well, that was fun with movies. All right, moving on.
Yeah, seriously, we should definitely make that part of the show. At least for the three ways.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'll try and
Okay,
find more
so
stuff like that if I
who-
can.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
One more from the Marco, you'll get this one. Dan won't. The voice actress for a character played this game too. They explain a plot badly, but it's not just film plot. It was I can't remember it word for word, but it's I've got a bomb in my hoo-ha. You know, vagina.
Oh, thanks.
I can't really get the word right to say it, so I'll just say vagina. It was the voice actress of Pause describing Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Oh.
She's got a bomb in her
Yes.
basket.
That game was fucked up.
That's just weird.
Well, that demo is fucked up.
Yeah, can we even call that a game? We paid $30 for a demo.
Eh, pretty much. Yeah. But it did scratch the Metal Gear itch for about a year.
5 minutes.
Oh.
I see we have conflicting ideas on this.
Pretty much.
I really enjoyed that game. I jumped in and out for a very long time.
Ground Zeroes isn't terrible. It's just I wish we could have gotten more for $30, to be honest.
Fair.
I feel PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 users got the best deal for $20.
Indeed.
So Marco, do you want to do one more or shall I?
I'll take it, no problem.
Okay. Well, how about we do 2 small ones and call it a day?
All right. So I always like to give back to the fans. How about you?
Fuck the fans.
Apparently.
Damn. Yeah. So
And if they take this seriously, they have to realize I'm not saying it seriously. I'm just saying it because Marco set it up.
don't drag me into this.
You set it up?
Not on purpose. Not like that.
Yeah, you did.
Who's taking
Cool.
a golden shower?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, gold sale.
Even without the shower, Dan goes with golden shower.
It just said golden
So-
S.
PlayStation, on the PlayStation Store, you can go into the Golden Shower sale, and it ends this week when Japan's Golden Week ends. It does have some
May 9th.
pretty stupid, ridiculously cheap games. They are, however, mostly Japanese games, which is that makes sense, since it is the Japan Golden Week sale, essentially.
Please explain something real fast. Are they really out of a job right now?
Not out of a job. It's more like a giant vacation. I would equate it to Brazil's Carnival. So it's like just an entire week of Japanese celebration.
Godzilla, go attack. They're on vacation.
Go.
Are you going to summon them? Or should I?
In the podcast that never aired, you used the Dragon Dagger theme, so I'm pretty sure that's a copyright violation, so...
Damn. I never even thought of that. Also, if you know what the Dragon Dagger is, shout out in the comments. Because you will become our new best friends. You're all our best friends, but...
What's this hour and we shit?
Yeah, I don't know what the Dragon Dagger is. Wait, yeah, I do.
Oh!
Wait, it just depends. Are we talking RuneScape or Power Rangers?
What the fuck is RuneScape?
I love how he gets RuneScape out of me saying Godzilla should attack Japan and then saying Dragon Dagger. Like, he can't...
You're playing some DLC we haven't even heard of.
I'm just all over the place.
Dan's going to RuneScape.
RuneScape, I mean, that's an old one.
Because nothing makes you think about Power Rangers like RuneScape.
You might.
Okay.
Hey, is there a Power Ranger sale in that Golden Shower sale? No, there isn't.
That would be interesting, though. If the new movie was under that umbrella. Huh.
There is a new game that came out, like the beat 'em up, like Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
Oh yeah, that did come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can barely consider it a real game. Manny, take it away.
So apparently Outlast 2 came out last week, and it's awesome. And in an interesting kind of way. It's not really like awesome, but it's fun. I've encountered two spots where they need to really work on the checkpoint locations. Because there's been two instances. Huh?
Sorry, you're talking about Outlast 2, right?
Yes, I stated Outlast 2.
Got it.
Came out last week.
Go on.
They need to work on the checkpoint areas because I've had two instances where story related events had the thing chasing you right where you checkpoint, where you spawn, you know, like when you reload, when the game reloads, and the response time is like really bad. It's like you have to really know where you're going immediately and how to go about it, or you're just gonna die and be stuck in a loop.
Oh, I see.
It's fun until you get the same death animation over and over and over and over again, and you're just like, for fuck's sake.
That'd be... Yeah. I feel like that's patch-worthy.
It reminds me of Wet. In my experiences of that. But unlike Wet, I have a way of getting out of it. And not starting the game over from scratch.
Yeah, I remember your video from Wet.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better camera at the time and not the LG Alias 2 phone.
LG's gonna shut us down.
Do they even have the money to shut us down right now?
Ooh,
yeah. We'll see after the G6 comes out.
But yeah, exactly. Outlast 2, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, but I'm also not enjoying it. I'm not done with the game yet. My youngest brother Matt is. He enjoyed it. The things I enjoy about it though is compared to the first Outlast, it's not so. A game like this is gonna be linear no matter what, but the level design doesn't feel linear.
right. So like
They're big and open.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a big and open play area for the most part. There are some instances where it gets just very tight, and I don't mind that. However, there's spots peppered all around where you get to hide in things, and it's in my first video.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my first video where I hide in a barrel and there's holes all around, and I'm like, what?
What do we do?
You know,
where do we go from here?
Well, there's holes in the barrel, and it's like, how can you not see me with my camera out, and me generating a little bit of light in this thing, and there's already holes in it, so if you have a flashlight or there's any ambient light right now, you're going to see this character, moving around.
True.
Without even peeking through.
So like it kind of breaks immersion that way.
Yeah. And I'm finding areas where you can hide, like, I'm ignoring them for the most part because the map is so big and open, whereas like in the first Outlast, you're in an insane asylum and it's mostly tight corridors. Mm-hmm. So you find that locker room, that locker or that bed or that just a desk where you can hide behind is like welcome relief. In this one, it's just like I laugh and I move on for the most part.
Yeah. All right. I can see how that might be a little irking.
It's not really irking. It's not really the right word. It's just funny how they went about hiding locations in this one. I mean, it's kind of harder in an open, bigger playroom kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like corn stalks are great, but at times they're not.
Fair. Well, that's good.
But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
It's an interesting turn of events because I know we were talking about Outlast and your like first impressions. You were actually really liking it.
Right.
It's just funny that you found something to hate, I guess.
Well, I mean, when I first started talking about it, I was only an hour and a half in. I'm closer to 5. Like I said, I'm not done with the game, but I'm far enough in to where that new game feel is wearing off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm 4 hours in. And I'm far enough in to start nitpicking. I mean, I'm still not... My brother wants me to compare the two, and when I beat the game, I will, and I'll talk about it on the podcast, but...
Cool.
I mean, both games are interesting in their own right, and both games have had instances where I've cringed in terms of, like, this is too far.
Right.
But I won't ruin it.
No spoilers.
Yeah, but the big problem I do have with Outlast 2 is the game relies too heavily on jump scares. It feels lazy to me.
It's not like it's not psychological like it was in the first game.
Yeah. It just feels lazy. That's my chief complaint.
It almost feels like movies, where the second one is always a little more reliant on gimmicky crap. Where the first one,
yeah, because the first one was a neat idea. Yeah,
a little sad, a little okay because it is video games, I guess.
Well, of course, Dan has to say yes to that. He has no points.
For those who don't see the text messages going between us, all these random outbursts aren't going to make any sense.
That's okay, I guess.
I think the audience is smart enough to realize we're discussing shutting it down, considering we're over 2 hours into this.
Yeah, seriously.
And the fact that they'll put 2 and 2 together because it'll end in about 5 minutes, and they'll be like, "Oh, I guess that's what they were talking about."
It's also a pain in the ass because anything over 2 hours, I have to download and put on the SoundCloud page a little differently, so I can't really develop a beat or routine.
You know what's funny is you never actually asked me for I have the actual files on my hard drive. I could just one day you can just stay on Skype chat and I can send them to you.
Oh, well. In that case,
if you want to go the hard way, fine. Go from my YouTube profile, download them, then upload them. Go right ahead.
We just hadn't talked about it, so I had to jump on it so I could say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us through the Triggercast, episode 10, the Threeway. We should probably work on that name. Anyway, if you're joining
the Threeway experimentation.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it feels like. We're
gonna go with it.
If you're joining us on YouTube, make sure to leave a comment. Like if you like it. Subscribe if Manny tells you to.
Subscribe if you like what you heard, and the chances of that are slim to none.
Dang, more confidence. Also, if you don't like YouTube or you don't like looking at the videos, You can check us out on SoundCloud. Now, the link is going to be below in the comments because that link is fucking convoluted.
Yeah, please don't say it.
Yeah,
again.
I'm not going to say it again. It'll make the podcast an hour longer, and let's not do that.
Yeah.
For one web address.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on episode 10 once again. I am one of your trigger men, Reaper Wolf 91, alongside Mad Jack.
Hello. You can follow me on Twitter at MaddisJack for more nonsense and humor.
And the forgetful
Yes, I'll include a
Hitman.
link. Fuck off and die and whatever.
But don't actually die, because episode 11 is just around the corner.
Probably not at this rate.
Yeah, we're getting
Fair.
shut down after this episode.
Seriously.
No. All reality, it's been a blast. The humor is humor. I'm intentionally flaring it up because of IGN and Kotaku attacking Drawn to Death for its humor, and people just being so sensitive these
Snowflakes.
days.
Betas.
Exactly. I'm having fun with it. I'm just running wild with it.
It's true. Ladies and gentlemen, do remember that it is the Triggercast, and we are trying to stay true to our name. Because in the Triggercast, anything is possible, but one thing will remain the same. You will be triggered.
Well, see, I don't think it would be fun if we just sat here and talked about the news. There has to be some humor element to it.
Agreed. But if you disagree,
So-
leave it in the comments below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll respond. We will. I promise.
Until the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, in all genders in between, remember to always reload. Guys, you want to join in?
And make sure to wash it off after you do it.
And wipe yourself.
And save often.
Because you never know when that premature becomes an accident.
And be careful what you pick up because it could be a mimic.
And watch out for the mimics.
Can we just do a bunch of these and like nitpick at which ones we want to include?
Uh-oh. Marco laughs. We gotta shoot him. It's a mimic.
That's a mimic.
Oh. I'm a mimic? Nobody told me.
Marco doesn't understand the prey reference. I think we should stop.
Maybe that's because he's a mimic.
Ooh.
Alright, are we Dark Knighting this again?
We have been for like the past 2 minutes.
Alright, well,
Just say bye.
bye!
Bye.
Bye.